Good evening. I have a little, I guess you could call it a tip here if it's worth anything to you. If it's not worth a damn, then it's not much of a tip, is it? But especially for older guys, because as we get older, I don't need to get into it again and rehash it. I've said it so many times. And it's true. Everything starts to fall off. Our production of everything, not just testosterone, not just growth hormone, but all the other stuff that's related to it because nothing occurs in a vacuum. It's a cascading event of hormones and fucking naturally produced peptides and enzymes, and all these things decrease. So our ability to recover is drastically diminished from what it would have been when we were much younger. Just like it's no secret that older guys, we don't process and assimilate protein as efficiently as a younger guy. So with all this, all this stuff going on that's degrading in our bodies and we're producing less of, and we're becoming resistant in a lot of different ways, it becomes, for me and for a lot of guys, if you really assess things objectively, our ability to recover is diminished, and you just can't do things the same way that you used to do them if you've been around a while and been lifting for a while, training for a while. So one thing that I will do a lot is, I'm not immune from this shit either. My training has changed a lot. My nutrition has changed a lot. Like the majority of the stuff that I supplement with on a daily basis, I never had to use that before. I never had to supplement with those things when I was younger. Just didn't. I could get what I needed from the food. I could get what I needed just from my regular nutritional intake of what I'm eating, and vegetables and carbohydrates and proteins and fruits and all this shit. But now, excuse me, but now it's necessary for me to take a lot of these supplements. A lot of things that I supplement with, I feel the difference and keep my blood work consistent and steady and everything in the green and so forth and so on. But from the recovery perspective, I train very instinctively. Now, of course, if you're one of those people, you love to be in the gym, you want to train more frequently, you just want to. You just enjoy it. Well, you should be able to enjoy it. Just always bear in mind that no one has ever built an ounce of muscle in the gym. You build the muscle and everything you do outside of the gym as you recover, all the restorative measures, all the food that you eat, the rest that you should be getting, the water you should be drinking, etc., etc., etc. The gym is where you just do the damage. You create the stimulus. So if you're somebody that likes to train frequently, you can still, if you're in tune enough with your body, and you should be if you've been doing this a while and you're older, you need to get there. You need to really pay attention. How different things influence how you feel, how you recover, how you sleep, how you grow, et cetera, et cetera. What your strength does. And for instance, like last night in particular, or just the most recent example of this in practical, life. Last night I did back. So I came in here and came down here and I did lat pull downs. I did low pulley rows. I did bent over barbell rows. I did dumbbell rows. And then I did bent over, rear delt laterals for my rear delts. So I didn't get to do any shrugging movements, and I felt like that was more than sufficient. I had gotten a great workout. I didn't want to push my luck. I was doing a little more as far as poundages and things than what I might typically do. Not taking huge risks, but moving some weight. And I thought, okay, I'm grateful for that. That's progress. That's progressive. So let's leave it at that. Well, then I may circle back around because I want to train everything twice every 10 days. So it's more than once a week. but it's not twice a week. It's not every body part twice a week. I can't recover from that now. You know, I may get on a really good roll where everything is, bang on perfect and ideal, and then I might train a few days in a row consecutively without a day off. But typically, most of the time, I will train every other day. Now, last night I did back, and tonight I've done chest, but I have had off for a solid 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, because I was on antibiotics for some dental work that I'm in the process of having done. So I don't train when I'm on antibiotics, and that's a whole other video, why that is. But it has to do with being older and being more susceptible to injury, and then you're even more susceptible when you're on the antibiotics. But I did train, since I've had all this time off, I did train 2 nights in a row, last night and tonight. Now, like I said, last night I didn't get to really do a whole lot of shrugging movements or any real direct shrugging movements. So I will circle back around, and I will do lower back. I'll do some type of either stiff leg for lower back. And when I do stiff legs for hamstrings, as opposed to lower back, I do them different ways. There's little intrinsic differences in the performance, the mechanical aspects to the exercise, how my form is, the position that I'm in, how far do I move the weight out in front of me as opposed to right up against my shins, how much bend is in my knees, my posture is different. And that directs the majority of the stress, where I want it to go. Do I want it on the hamstrings? Is that what I'm after specifically? Or am I specifically after lower back? And range of motion and every other thing, Now, I will circle back around now, and I will do some shrug stuff, movements for my traps, specifically targeting traps, and I will do some lower back stuff like that, like hyperextensions or some manner of stiff-legged deadlift this week. So that'll be an additional workout, and I only have one nervous system. My central nervous system still is taking a beating every time I work out. So even if I'm working different things, you still have to consider, I don't really want to beat on my central nervous system 7 days out of the week. But I did a lot of back workout last night, exercises that I don't always do that many together at the same time. And I didn't want to go further and get the additional trap work in there, the direct work that I would normally do for back, because I do traps with back. And I didn't do any specific, real lower back, only low pulley rows, and that's, So I will circle back around and add that in there. It just, in other words, what I'm getting at is, I train very instinctively, so I would break up a body part into, a larger muscle group. I may break up into 2 different workouts. And I don't, even though there's some crossover, there's some spillover, where there's going to be stimulation, there's going to be stress applied to muscles that were already previously trained in the first round of a complex group like back. But the specific target areas, the primary focus is different. So I can get away with that. So that sometimes I will have an extra workout in there during the week, and it doesn't always have to be back. It could be something else, but I'll have an extra workout in there during the week. It might be maybe tonight I did chest and a little bit of shoulders, but I did triceps as well. So I may have, if I wasn't feeling right, or if I had done an excessive amount of pressing movements and didn't want to jump right into triceps, and maybe coincidentally I didn't do biceps last night behind the back work I did, but I did. But if I hadn't, then I may have another workout in the week, and it won't be 2 extras. I wouldn't do what I'm going to do with the back, and then also have an extra day for just arms, and train bis and tris in opposition to one another in a superset fashion. In a superset manner. But I could do that, or even with legs. I could divide, specifically target, and my intention could be more toward placing stress on quads And then if I don't want to do the entire legs for whatever reason that workout, because I think it might be too much, then I'll come back around and hit hamstrings in another day in the week. You know what I mean? But I'll only maybe throw one extra workout like that in per week. It's not like I'm going to do all of that in the same week. You know, all these duplicitous kind of workouts. And again, there's still going to be, even if you're not trying to train, you know, specifically trying to train, if you separate hams and quads, there's still going to be some spillover. It's not like you can 100% isolate completely, you know, one portion of your body like that to where nothing, you know, the oppositional muscle isn't getting any work in a large complex, because it is. So that's it. I just wanted to try to explain that. I don't know if I did a good job of it or not. I'm a little worn out. Just finished lifting. Had a great workout tonight, and I don't usually do 2 nights in a row. Like I said, I typically train every other day, every other evening. But that's an option that you could explore. If you're an older guy and you're worried about recovery, which you should be, you know, you still have to bear in mind that no matter what you're doing, you're still running everything along that same highway of that central nervous system, and it needs a break too. But that's one thing you could do. You could break the body part. If it's a more complex body part, larger body part like that, you could break it up into 2 different individual workouts. You can get away with that. You know, I can. You have to find out for yourself if you can or not, but it's just an idea. Just want to throw that out there. Take it or leave it, you know, if it's worth anything to you. That's it for now. You guys take care. Have an awesome evening. I'm going upstairs to get some beef going so I can get more beef going.